Man finally finds the courage to ask his crush out after 40 years. In 1965, when Jerry Zimmerman saw Georgine Martin Niehuber in the 9th class of Farnsworth Junior High School in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, he fell head over heels in love with her. Although they never really talked, whenever she fleetingly glanced at him, his heart would skip a beat. It wasn't until high school when Jerry mustered up the courage to ask Georgine and her friend, who were walking to school, if they wanted a ride. They agreed, and Jerry found himself sitting next to the girl he wanted to live the rest of his life with. Being the shy kind, Jerry didn't even introduce himself, let alone confess his love for Georgine. Once they reached school, the girls thanked him and went on their way, leaving a speechless Jerry alone. All day, he mulled over his next move. All he wanted was to tell Georgine how he felt about her, hoping she felt a little something for him, too. All he had to do was offer a ride, have her sit in his car, and that was it. The perfect way to tell her how he felt about her. When it was time to go home, Jerry ran to the parking lot and began driving around school, hoping to accidentally bump into Georgine. Much like he expected, he did bump into Georgine and her friend, who were walking home, but when he offered a ride, they refused. With a deep wound in his heart, a devastated Jerry slowly rolled up the window and drove away. During their senior year, when Jerry realized that Georgine was engaged, he was heartbroken, with nothing to cushion the blow. Soon, Jerry found himself with a degree in physical geography and moved to Spokane, Washington, where he worked as a cartographer in the U.S. Geological Survey's mapping department. Georgine was still on his mind. Twice a year, Jerry would visit his family in Wisconsin, and whenever he visited, he'd drive by Georgine's house, hoping to catch a glimpse of her. He'd often open the local phone book for her name, and there it was, listed beside her husband's name. After divorcing a second time, he returned home in December 1998 to catch up with his friend Frank Cooper, and it was then that he found out that Georgine's husband had recently passed away from a brain tumor. Before leaving for Washington, Jerry visited a local florist and sent Georgine a bouquet of roses with a note asking her out for coffee. He knew he didn't want to wait any longer, but he didn't want to be insensitive either, so in his note he told Georgine how he wouldn't mind waiting another 40 years for her. In May 1999, Jerry returned to Wisconsin, and when he learned that Georgine was interested in meeting him for coffee, he called her in the night, and they spoke for over an hour. In the spring of 1999, the two went out for the first time in 40 years. At 51, Jerry finally confessed his unending love for Georgine and even popped the question. After hearing Georgine's yes, Jerry resigned from his job in Washington and moved back to Wisconsin to be with the love of his life. For several years, things were great between them, but soon Jerry developed a limp and was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. However, they continue to love each other and are grateful for everything they have together. How long would you wait for the love of your life? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and check out JoJo Stories for more jaw-dropping content we're sure you'll enjoy.
The world is filled with stories going viral every single day. But how many of these sites can you actually follow? We understand that your day should start with positive stories, stories that resonate with you. And so we started JoJo Stories. Our mission is to create meaningful stories that cover everything from animals to anthropology, history to environment and lifestyle. The kind of content you read on our site will be one you'll want to share with your family and friends. We hope you'll join our growing family and be part of our community. Welcome to JoJo Stories, jojostories.com.